sure if there was an initiative to try to help that or try to combat it, because I heard there were some misplaced items in Russ Hall, if I'm correct, that happened, I think, last semester, and also some damaged property issues in university, like broken chairs, broken tables, that people think that there should be a way to put some discipline towards students who think it's alright to damage university properties. Is there any initiative or anything to do about that?
Yes. There is a group that right now is operating mostly out of university facilities and university police that is looking at adding cameras to the campus. As you can imagine, there are lots of issues when you're talking about cameras, not the least of which is privacy, but another one is cost. They're very, very expensive to put all over. The third issue that you have is the expectation of what happens with the camera. So is somebody monitoring all of the time, or is that camera filming and that film will be reviewed if necessary? So all of that is being studied and looked at, and then a plan is being drawn up as to where our first priorities are going to be to put those cameras once we're able to secure the funds and determine what our needs are. As you probably know, some of them are already in the residence halls. The Heights has cameras, and there are other places where we're looking. There are some cameras on campus that you don't know about, because part of the thing is, if you know what's happening there, somebody's watching, you don't do some of the things that you might do that we need to catch and find out what's going on. So there are some that are hidden, but we do need more, we know. It's a different world, and so we're working at that.
Safety is very important to us on the campus, and this is a very safe campus by any standards, really by any standards. Not that untoward things don't happen from time to time. Again, of course, it's a human community. Not everybody behaves perfectly all the time. And we do have many thousands of people who come on and off the campus who may not be members of this community. They come for a variety of reasons, most of them very good reasons. They come to hear a lecture, or go to a sporting event, or to visit friends, or to go to the library, or to go to a meeting, or all sorts of things like that. So we want people coming on and off the campus. We don't want to be a fortress. We want to be open to the world. That said, it makes safety complicated. But I have to absolutely say this. Going back to how beautiful the campus is, how clean it is, how nice it is. You don't see a lot of broken, marked up, graffitied stuff. The first line of safety defense are you. You are the first line. You are the eyes and the ears and the owners, if you will, of this property. This is really, we need you taking care of it. We need you reporting if you see something happening that shouldn't happen. If somebody you know is doing some damage to something, you need to report it. You need to tell. I know that you don't like to tell, but it's not okay for somebody to think it's a joke, to tear something off the wall, whether it's a light or it's a sign, or to do some damage in an elevator just because that's a lark and a joke, or to mark up some wall. It's not okay, because it's everybody's campus, and we all have to take care of it for each other. And it's disrespecting all their fellow students when they do something to damage the campus, and it's disrespecting the university. And if students don't use their own eyes and ears and their own conscience and moral sense to help us take care of the campus, then it can't be done, because we could never have enough cameras, enough police, enough people watching all of this stuff. We couldn't. I mean, we'd have to employ a force of thousands there's so many buildings, there's so many rooms, there's so many corridors, there's so many outdoor spaces, etc. We couldn't do it. But you are all there. And as student government leaders, it's really important that you take the occasion and have activities that are actually designed to help students understand what their civic responsibility is on this campus. One of the reasons why the campus looks so good and it's so clean is because students respect it. I mean, I've been on a lot of campuses in my life. This is not a campus where people throw garbage on the ground, but a lot of campuses are. And this is not, it's just not expected. That's not how we live on our campus. We have garbage cans, we put it in the garbage. But that is a culture that we all create together. So you're a really important part, and student government is a really important part in keeping the campus safe, keeping the campus civil, keeping the campus clean, taken care of. I was walking up here the other day and I saw a couple of students who were doing their skateboard thing. And that's fine, doing their skateboard thing. But part of what they were doing was jumping on some of the benches and doing it across the bench, and then going bam onto the bench and then off the bench and jumping bam onto the bench again. And I went up to those students and I said, excuse me, did it ever occur to you that you are damaging that bench? And it's not your bench, it's our bench. And they said, Then they said, well, this is the art building, and if we damage the bench, could we call it part of an art project? I said, well, that's very clever, but no. That would be no. So, but I mean, people throw garbage on the floor. I say, excuse me, you dropped something. That's how we do it. Really important. And for the things that are not, that are even more important, more serious. You see somebody really doing something they shouldn't be doing, something that might hurt another person. Don't look for a blue light. Take your phone and call. What do you call? What do you call? 5222. 52. Don't call your boyfriend. Don't call your girlfriend. Don't call your mom or your dad. Don't call the student government leader. If you see something bad happening, if you see someone doing something serious, something not good, and that would include, breaking something on campus, or assaulting a person, or just being intimidating or inappropriate, or something, or stealing something. 5222. Call university police. Just do it. Just do it. That's how we keep it safe. Yeah?
I just want to say that cell phones aren't the most reliable thing all the time because they die.
Cell phones die?
Yeah. And so, but like I've always had my phone die throughout the day, and I just think it's really important to have it.
How much do you use it?
I don't use my phone that often.
Didn't we put a lot of charging stations around campus?
But if you come out there,
Charge that baby up. No, I know. I'm not arguing against blue lights, but the cell phone is really a tool that you don't realize. It wasn't that long ago before no one was walking around this campus with a cell phone. You had to actually go to a phone that was plugged into a wall to make a call. And I realized that it wasn't that long ago when that happened. When my granddaughter said to me, when I showed her an old phone booth that was on display. You know what a phone booth is? Yeah. She was like, I said, this is a phone booth. And she said, well, what do you mean a phone booth? And I said, well, you go in the phone booth on the street to make a call. And she said, well, why would you go in the phone booth to make a call? I said, well, because the phone is in there. And she said, what do you mean the phone is in there? The phone is here. So, you know, we didn't used to have those things, but now they give us a lot of tools for safety. And students sometimes say, what do I do when I feel not comfortable walking from point A and it's dark at night and I want to catch the bus? We do have a service, you know, where you can call university police. And isn't that right? Is that right, Karen?
I'm sorry.
We have that service where you can call university police and say, I'm walking from here
Yes,
to there?
yes, we have the Rave Guardian. How many of you have downloaded the Rave Guardian app on your phone? Very good, very good. The Rave Guardian app, you can set it for anywhere between 30 minutes and 3 hours. And so you are somewhere and you want somebody to track you. And what it will do is it will just put up a blip at the University Police Department. They don't know who you are, they don't know anything at that point. But if you set it for, say, 30 minutes, and you don't turn it off when you've reached your location in 30 minutes, it will send an alarm to the police station. They then will contact you to make sure you're okay, that you didn't just forget to turn it off. And they will also send a car, just to make sure that you really are okay. It works anywhere in the country. I have tried it in other parts of the country just to test it out, and it really does work. So if you don't have the app on your phone, download the Rave Guardian app. It's a real good safety procedure, or safety app for you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Happy practical. My name is Paulette Glenda. I'm a history major with a minor in international studies. One of my questions is, what would you say we should do as students to take an initiative on campus, and what would be the best advice for us to take in order to make the best college experience that we can?
Well, it depends. That's a very broad question. I think it would depend, the answer would depend on what kind of initiative you were thinking of. If you were thinking of academic initiatives, well, for example, if you wanted to do some extra special things in your major, then the thing to do is to choose a professor who seems interesting and talk to them and say, you know, I'd really like to do some research or something in history, and are there any projects that I could get involved with? If it is a question of wanting to get involved socially more, to get involved with students working on in some kind of club or activity or whatever, then think, well, what would I really like to do? And then just go. Like if suppose you said, well, you know, I think I'd like to work for the student newspaper. What do? Go to the student newspaper and say, hello, here I am. I'd like to write for the student newspaper. What do I have to do? Almost every organization on campus would welcome you. They're all looking for members and people to engage with. So I think, you know, since you're not asking me a very specific question, but a general question, my answer would be, just do it, you know, just step out. Just step up to whatever it is you want to. Don't be shy. Don't feel, maybe I'm not qualified. Don't feel maybe I can't do it. Don't feel, well, maybe the professor will think I'm a jerk or something, or the other students will think I'm a jerk. Don't think any of those negative things. Just think, and go and step out. Ask people, talk to people. Go forward. You know what they say about life? Half of it is just showing up. Like coming here, being part of the student government. And then when you're part of it, you can begin to see what you can make out of it for yourself that's interesting. But first you have to just show up. That makes sense?
Yes, no, thank you. Yes, I'm a tour guide, so a lot of students ask how to be a part of Montclair, and I would love to tell them that our president wants you to be bold and to do what you want to do.
And that would be true. That would be absolutely true. I really think this is a journey for all of you. And the journey is discovering all the potential of what it means to be. You don't really know yet. You can't really tell yet. And the last thing you want to do in life is minimize that. The last thing you want to do is make the least of your life. You want to make the most of your life, the most of who you are, the most of your talents, the most of your energy, the most of your ability. You want to just do more, be more, and discover all those different things that are special and interesting about yourself. And that's the best way to live, I think. Sometimes it can be scary, really, but as my mother used to tell me all the time, if you're not being scared, you're not trying. You're not moving forward. Everything that's new is a little bit scary. Everything you haven't quite done before, or everything you haven't done well yet, is a little bit scary. You can't let that stop you. You just keep moving forward. The only thing you regret at the end of your life is what you have not done, not what you have done. You don't worry at the end of your life regretting about the things you did or the mistakes you made. What you regret are the opportunities you didn't take, the things you didn't do, the things you were too afraid to do. That's what you regret. You should keep that in mind. It's hard for a young person to grasp, but it really is true. Go for it. In a word, go for it. And in that word, I'm going to have to say goodbye. I really, really appreciated your taking the time to talk with me. I always enjoy it. And I will come back again in the spring, right? And meet with you again, and we can talk about other things. So have a terrific semester at the university. Study, study hard, study, study, study. Go to that library. You all know where it is. And have a good, successful year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with the business of the day. So we're going to go ahead and move into unfinished business. So, Kevin?
I motion to reconsider the bill of F20, 2019-18
Is there a second?
Second.
We need a 2/3 majority vote in order to consider the bill. All those in favor? All opposed? All abstaining? We will now reconsider the bill F 2019-18 Alpha and Omega Class 4 Charter. Thanks for being patient, Henry. So we'll go ahead and give you your time for your presentation. So you have 6 minutes to do your presentation. I'll go ahead and give you a 1 at the 1 minute mark and start whenever you're ready. All right?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. And my name is Henry Oko, and I'm representative of Alpha and Omega Fraternity. And we're applying for charter for fall 20. Fall 2020, no, spring 2020 to fall 2020. And it's an initial charter, it's our first charter. And thank you. All right, so what is our organization's purpose? Our organization's purpose is to raise champions, meaning individuals who will be victorious in their respective fields in their lives. And one way we do that, we teach those who come to our meetings, or at the MSU student body, I like to say, a different perspective on biblical knowledge. Using the Bible as our textbook. For our meetings, I like to call them life seminars. And to cultivate a victorious mindset so they can go and achieve in their lives. And and overall prepare them for their future. And how does our organization differ from other organizations? We're a unique Christian-based organization because we stress on the development of the individual. Because I meet with most of most of the students that come to our meetings, and I'll talk to them what they want to do, what's your needs, your house, everything. And they, even from where they are, even what they know, at least about, like the God aspect and everything. But we evaluate a lot of things about their lives and help them bridge where they're trying to go, especially for their future, or what kind of life they want to live, that kind of thing. Kind of like advising, but a little different. But it's more better explained when I do it with somebody. But no, other than that, we like I said, through spiritual knowledge, and then also something unique that faith spirituality gave me as a definition, rational religion, saying that one thing that differentiates us between crew, InterVarsity, and Rise Up, is that we do rational religion. Even when things that we examine inside maybe the Bible, that's why I say it's like textbook, we criticize it very heavily to know how can we use this in our real life? How can this thing apply today? Because many of them lived thousands and thousands of years ago. And what else is there? And the one thing that makes us different, like I said, I look at the individual and try to make them better. At least help them get to the path that they want to go to. And we have actually other branches on other campuses. Right now we're on Rutgers Newark, on TCNJ, we're at Penn State. Unfortunately, I think they're on Hazleton because there's different branches at Penn State. And we're also at the Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, one of our members is there, and there's more to come. And right now this is our slated meeting time, but since we have not been official, I've been actually doing this since last year. This stuff happened with faith and spirituality, but this is what's supposed to be our time. And when I get like all the reserving systems done, I can reserve official times where we get to meet, but this right now is just speculation, really. And next, please. And we did have an event before, like an event slated when I was trying to do it last year, but as of right now, everything's to be determined because I now have to go find somebody, and our organization has to find somebody, and I'm not sure. Now that I'm doing October, I'm not sure if we can do it this semester. But anyway, it's going to be scheduled. That's the main thing. Next one, please. Thank you. And Alpha Omega will benefit. And how does our organization benefit the campus community? Alpha Omega certainly will benefit students by helping them to become well-rounded individuals. One thing that we try to pride ourselves, I was going to say later on in the same paragraph, saying that we're trying to make people into champions in the same way, because I like to say any follower should eventually become a leader. Because that's the purpose of becoming a follower. Because so you can learn from the person that led you and become better than they were. So in that way, I also been pushing some of my students to come join SGA. Some of them are commuters, though. It's really challenging for them to take the time out, and you gotta stay here for like 4 or 5 hours. But it's okay. But it's okay. Well, right now, to coordinate myself, I haven't been able to reach out to everybody. So that's why you haven't seen anybody that I know here at SGA yet. But other than that, we're here to encourage and inspire people to become better versions of themselves. And that is okay. And then right now, we have 2 members of the E-Board. That's required for initial charter. And our advisor, Leslie Wilson. And we have general member 17. Some of them are commuters, some I haven't seen because different reasons. Because some of them actually have classes at night, some have classes in the morning. Because before last year, it was a different schedule. And like I said, time I'm still arranging everything. And next, please. And then right now the budget, like I said, I started to arrange things, but obviously we're gonna do a break day sales, being a class 4 organization initially. We're gonna do bake sales, make matching funds, sell stuff, and eventually right now, like I said, the event is still TBD, so next please. And last slide, why should your organization receive a charter? Should receive a charter because we're designed to benefit the student body, because we represent a unique perspective towards Christianity, which is different than any other organization. And we truly believe everyone should hear about it, really. It's unique. If you come to our meetings, we always have like a lot of discussions, like talk about many things that maybe people will see on media. You'd be like our beloved President Trump, we talk about the things he does. even policies and stuff, but different areas, not just only politics, mostly media sometimes, different things. Because life is more than just school, work, and everything. We're watching other people, but it's a lot to say. But then one thing we decided to do is help guide people to where they should go. That's why I said we decided to be a sign to many of the student body, to give them direction and knowledge that they need for the future. And I think that's the last slide.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the organization? Jonathan?
How many active members do you have on the Montclair campus?
As of now, we have 5. Yes. Other ones, I can't get reach with them. The 4, some of them are commuting and they only have morning classes and they leave. So right now it's just 5.
I was gonna ask about your name. Why is it called Alpha and Omega Fraternity?
That's a very interesting question. But it's actually because Alpha and Omega in the Greek means beginning and end. Because we like to say God is the beginning of the end of your success, basically. But the eternity is supposed to be like fraternity kind of thing, because it means the word for brotherhood. But it's not just for guys. No. We have a lot more women than that. so don't think that.
Kevin?
As we're talking about having it a little bit open, like can any faith join your organization, or like having an aspect of talking about not just politics, but like different spiritual aspect of it?
Yeah, of course, because one thing I've started realizing, especially in like study in the Bible, is that the Bible is especially, like I said, a textbook, where there's a lot of Eastern like civilization things there, and they can relate with a lot of things from different religions. Because even surprisingly enough, like even inside the Bible is Greek mythology, so it has to do with other stuff, different things. So we can even talk about it. I have no problem. I talk to a lot of people about this stuff all the time, every day. So, but yeah, you're right. I will. We will.
Any other questions for the org? Tatiana?
So, what other events are you planning besides your weekly meetings and breakfast or week out?
We're actually supposed to have a guest speaker come in, but right now, since I have to find out their schedule, because now is when we get the charter, I started to get the booking system, and I have to get the book a month ahead.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, all right, so 2 weeks ahead. So I have to find out their schedule, whoever it may be, and then I have to coordinate everything now. Times and everything. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
You said Bible textbook. What version of the Bible are you guys using?
Any version really, because we're not limited by versions really. But it's just like the standard version I use is King James, but anyone can bring anything. I don't mind it. Because just it's the same thing.
Savannah?
So do you think if you get chartered as an organization that you will end up having more members?
Yeah, by far actually.
Or is it's just because like you're limited to like you don't really have a space or time? Is that why like your membership is so low?
Yeah, because that's one of the main things, because I invited a lot of people before, like especially like 2 semesters ago. A lot of people, just that they're like, where are you? They text me, where? I'm like, we're in here, but I think there's a group there, so I'm gonna be over here. Like it's, because one of the main things, because some people literally leave and go. And then now that I dorm, before I used to commute, it makes it easier for me to always be here, but now, when am I gonna meet people? That's been one of the biggest challenges. Yeah, but yeah, it will increase quite a bit because now I can advertise. I can pick a time and also have it slated, reserved in different rooms. Oh, you too.
Well,
Pedro?
yeah. I was wondering what's because you were talking about Christianity and how you have like a different perspective. Can you go more into that? Because there are a lot of other clubs that also just do that, so I wanted to see how you differentiate.
Clarification too. Just for point of clarification, every faith-based organization that wants to charter on campus has to go through the Center for Faith and Spirituality and get vetted as an org. And we also verify with them that they're different from the other orgs that we already have chartered. And the Center for Faith and Spirituality has confirmed with us that they are different from the other orgs that we have with campus. Just yeah. But you can go ahead first.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think on the 4th slide, what they define us in faith and spirituality is rational religion. Is it fourth? I kind of guess. Yeah, rational religion. That's the exact word that they gave me. Because sometimes the way we can look at it, we can look at it specifically, maybe like a scripture, or sometimes it may not be a scripture. Sometimes some everyday phrase people use every day, and it's critically examined. Like, because one thing we believe is that it's not just spiritual, oh, everything is spiritual, but then you have to realize God gave you a brain, so use it even when it comes to the scriptures or anything in life. Because I guess the best thing to use is the example, really. Like, one thing we taught a while ago is the mindset of a champion. We talked about, basically, if you're going to win in your life, basically, you got to decide never to give up. Because the nature of life is that trials will come, bad times will come. Well, it depends how long you endure it to go further. Because for many people, it's either when they give up, that's when you're finally at lost, and that's when they fail. And really, that's what it means to be a champion, really. That's just a shorthand version, but I'm trying to speed through it. I don't want to hold big answer.
Any other questions for the organization? Vanna?
Which executive position do you hold, and who is the other person you hold?
Okay. I'm executive president.
Okay.
And my hey, let's hear her name. She's she's our, I think, treasurer. Yeah, she's our treasurer. And we just need other people for advice on this stuff.
Any other questions for the organization? Committee report?
They received a 031 negative recommendation pending amendments to their bill, which was because we had the name wrong on the bill. So the amendment that we made was to make their name correct, but we had to vote negative on the bill because it was the wrong name, just so you all know.
Does that make sense to everyone?
Do you understand why we voted negative? Okay.
Questions for the committee? Okay, debate and discussion on this bill? Kevin?
So, thank you again for your presentation. At the same time, like, me and him actually had talks about some of the stuff like on the third floor here. It is open to everybody, not just because I'm Hindu, he's Christian. We talk about different things here and there, and it seems like a good order to have on campus to have like more freely for students to talk about certain things they might be afraid of, but they feel like they're more comfortable in an environment like this.
Thank you, Henry, right? Your name?
Yes.
Perfect for your lovely presentation, and I'm so excited for what the future has in store for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Andrew?
I would say, I know sometimes like faith-based organizations can be intimidating because like oh, I don't want to get involved, I don't want to do all that, but I feel like this is a good way to get involved with something but not being committed to something because you kind of like understand it more, understand like religion as a whole by dissecting its text and how you kind of relate to it yourself. I feel like everyone else can find their understanding in doing that, and that's why I recommend.
Jonathan?
Thank you for a great presentation, first off. Second off, I do believe that this is something that could really benefit Montclair State, just because I do believe there's a lot of things on campus for perhaps like physical and mental well-being, but there is not a lot for spiritual well-being, which for some people is actually very important, and it's very hard, especially on the campus, you know, when you deal with stress and like a lot of issues that you deal with, it can affect your spiritual well-being. So I think something like this is something that we would be fortunate to have on our campus, and I do also think that this is something we should approve going forward. My recommendation.
Anything else in debate and discussion? All right, seeing none, we will now hold a vote. We need a 2/3 majority vote in order to approve this bill. All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Bill passes. Congratulations. That is that. All right. Is Arts for the Ages here?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. See if they're here. We will now consider Bill F-2019-20, Arts for the Ages Class 3 charges.
Now considering Bill 2019-20,
Being enacted by the legislator of the Student Government Association of Montclair State University Incorporated, that whereas the Arts for the Ages would like to charter as a club, as a Class 3 organization under the Student Government Association, and whereas Arts for the Ages would be a great benefit to Montclair State University undergraduate campus community, and whereas Arts for the Ages would like to receive a charter for the spring 2020 to fall 2020 time period. Be it resolved that Arts for the Ages receive a charter from spring 2020 to fall 2020.
Office report.
Okay, I'm still waiting for the storm Hey, y'all. Oh, good. Okay. So, Arts for the Ages came to me super early again, which is why these are the first two presentations you're seeing. That's because these people were extremely headstrong in trying to get their clubs chartered, and which is wonderful and makes it easier for me. That being said, Arts for the Ages has done a wonderful job already this semester not being a chartered org on this campus. I personally received emails from professors bragging about the story, telling me to go, and I was like, they're not even in the SGA, that's awesome. That being said, they've been really wonderful, their presentation is awesome, and I'm so excited for y'all to see it.
Thank you.
Questions for the author? All right, organization report. I guess we'll wait for this thing to load up. But just like Henry, the previous org, y'all get 6 minutes to give your presentation. I'll give you a 1 to 5 minute mark, and whenever y'all want to get started, feel free to. As soon as this warms up.
Yeah, the papers that we passed around is from our first event that we held at a nursing home. And so we basically had a About Me page that we made, which I just passed out, and the senior citizens filled out a little bit about themselves. So that's what you have in your hands.
The responses.
Yeah, the responses.
Some of them are really cute.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
from swimmers.
Facebook.
Yes.